Super excited to share with you another amazing purpose, story, and journey. I want to welcome our special guest today. We have Meenakshi. Meenakshi, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Hello, Namaste, Rose. Namaste to everyone who's watching. And thank you for having me here today. Super excited to be here.
Awesome. So, if you want to just get started, a simple question. Where are you in the world?
I live in India. I live about 80 kilometers away from the capital, Delhi. This is probably my hometown where I am born and raised. So I've lived in Delhi for my work when I was in corporate, but I think there's no place like home. I feel really deeply connected to my hometown. It has changed a lot. So I think it was an amazing idea to come back and just feel that calmness and that essence of childhood and every memory that I have left behind. It feels really amazing to come back.
Beautiful. Couldn't agree more. Best place is home, sweet home. So, okay, without any delay, let us jump into your purpose story. I know just from knowing you, I know a little bit about your story, but I would love to hear just from that first moment when you had that aha moment, and then just take us through the little breadcrumbs that have led you to finding your purpose today. And the stage is yours.
So, I've always lived life where I was given instructions from people, being that good girl, being obedient. So that's what my life was all about so far. I was just studying so that I can get good grades. When I got good grades, I got to university. When I went to university, I wanted to study further. And that's how the process, that automation that kept on happening until one day, I hope everyone remembers, nobody might have forgotten the COVID days. We were put in a lockdown and we were not equipped with those facility that time that we can work from home. So I was just put inside the house at our home. I had no work, absolutely no purpose, because what I was living for was just my job, that paycheck. And when life turned into automation, I never realized that I don't really have a purpose. And when I was at home, I was watching TV. All I could see was discrimination against women, people feeling lost, depressed, and all these mental health issues that made me wonder, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose? And this question constantly haunted me. And then when we again went to work, though it was work from home, but this question, what's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of life? This kept running in my background programming. And this created a really huge gap between my current life and the ideal life that I wanted. And that chronic dissatisfaction led me to a place where I could no more function. I wanted to know the answers. I tried to approach a therapist, but she couldn't help me either because it was very difficult to feel vulnerable around the person that you don't know. And then I was just scrolling social media because that's what I would do pretty much to make sure that I am able to pass that 24 hours to stop my brain from thinking. I was just scrolling this Instagram and I found an ad where they were giving ads that we are teaching you yoga specifically to fix your mental health. I said, definitely take my money. And what I have perceived yoga so far, that you got to do those nice, really gymnast like movements and, crumble your body like and make those poses like inverted head poses. And I was really scared to go in the very first class because I wasn't working out, I wasn't really active that time. And that space that I had during COVID, it weakened my body a lot. Though I used to go to the gym, I used to do powerlifting, but uh, I don't know what was the effect of COVID. It really brought me back even negative in the progress. So But luckily, what they started, the very first class of yoga, it wasn't about moving your body, it was about yogic philosophy. And the very first thing that my teacher said that just went inside like an arrow to my heart was, it was just an introduction class, and it was super early in the morning because I wasn't used to waking up that early. It was 6 a.m. the class started, and I used to wake up at 9 or 10 because I was working as per the UK timings that time. And 6 a.m., I'm half asleep. I'm just trying to get through that class. Everyone is introducing themselves. And once the introduction was done, my teacher said one small thing, that if you are in this class, don't think that you have chosen yoga. Yoga has chosen you. And if you have met me as a teacher, from today, your life is going to change. And as he said these words, from that very moment, my life changed, because actually I was speaking to universe, and I was telling that give me a teacher, give me a guru. I knew that therapist can't help me, but I can help myself. I can be my own therapist. And when I realized how powerful yoga is, not just the physical movements, but actually the yogic philosophy, which helps you see inside yourself, that are you repeating somebody else's story, or you are here to write yours? Are you operating from your patterns, fears, or the script that you have been given, or you challenge that, or you really connect with your purpose? And that day I realized that I am on right track, and I fixed myself, I fixed my mental health. I really dig deeper into practices. I learned yogic philosophy. And when I realized how powerful is that, I wanted to share it with more people, which is why I took up yoga philosophy as my coaching. That's my first thing. Not just that, I really speak about how yoga can change people's life, how it can help you build resilience, but the core essence of yoga, not just the physical postures. So that's pretty much my purpose and my journey so far, which is why I do public speaking, so that I can make people at least aware about what yoga is.
Beautiful. And so you're sharing that you were in this corporate job and then COVID hit and you were still working from home. And yeah, what a beautiful experience of just, finding your teacher and getting that one clear message. So I want to ask you, what is your vision for the future of how you can use these experiences that you've been through and now help other people to find their Zen space?
Yeah, I really believe in that every person you meet, there's a reason. Either you are going to teach the person something, or you're going to learn something from the person. So I don't know what weird serendipity it is this. I never saw someone dying from cancer in my family, but I really felt the pain of people, how people have described they saw their loved one passing from cancer, how painful that was. So I really wanted to help cancer patients. If I can find out an alternate treatment which is less painful, which can give people more hope, which can give people at least more time, more good quality time that they can spend in the last few years that's left. So when I was studying my MTech program, I really had this inclination towards finding alternate research programs. So I used to research on that, and somewhat the final year project that I did, it was on kind of natural antibiotics that you can make through the turmeric and curcumin that you can make. But then I realized that probably finding the cure is not the answer. If I want to help people, I must start from prevention first. And that's where I realize that I'm going wrong in the direction. I'm trying to help people who has already fallen sick with cancer, who are already ill with cancer. But the solution was, why do people fall sick? Why do people attract the chronic diseases in first place? And all these answers I got from yoga, the chakra system that I studied. It's about the emotion which are stuck inside your body, which is why we perform yogasans, so that you can shake off that stress, that stuck emotion from your body so that you can prepare a stronger body for more higher purpose driven, more conscious body that you're going to get. And that's how you can, if you have got a stronger body, that's how you can perform very good function with your brain. I am certain, when was the last time when I was stuck in fever and got a really life changing idea? Never. I have to make sure that my body is strong. It's free from any diseases and sickness. So that's what exactly I feel is the first step that we can take towards our purpose, is that to make sure that we shed that previous self of ours, not just mentally, but from our body's memory as well. And that's pretty much what happened with me while I was stuck with that. When I was sick with COVID, that's when I realized that my body is becoming weaker. And when I became weaker, I couldn't perform those physical tasks that I was doing really well when I was in job. So that kept me pushing harder. So that's when I knew that I have to take a pause. So that small pause that you take in your life, it's not that you have to beat yourself or feel guilty about it, that, you know what, I'm not performing as per my full potential. It's pretty much like that you really need that pause to think, to reflect. Are you going in right direction?
Beautiful. Well, I want to ask you what has shifted in your body from that moment. And I totally understand why people are apprehensive seeing people do all these crazy poses and seeing, oh, I that's too much for me. So from that moment of that you did decide to take the leap of faith into yoga to now, what is some of the differences you've seen and experienced for yourself?
I would say I have three things that I've learned through yoga, how I see my body and myself. First of all, we don't exist as physical body, mind, and brain. A human body exists in 5 layers, and the first layer is your physical body, but that's not your entire self. Why physical body is important is if I tell you that you are going to get only one car your entire life, and you need to make sure that from the time you're born until you die, you drive this vehicle. I think people are going to take utmost care of that vehicle. But we forget that our vehicle to complete this life is our body. Body is anyways decaying. It's anyways getting degraded each passing day, each passing second. Least we can do is to make sure that we do further damage to our body. And it's not just about drinking, smoking, and putting bad things inside your body. It's about putting bad thoughts in your head as well. Because there's no difference in body and brain. It's part of you. If you're feeding your brain negative thoughts, that's exactly it's going to go down in your body. That, you know what, I am not happy with it. So first of all, I accept my body not as myself, but as a vehicle that I need to take care of until I die. I have to drive it, sitting inside this vehicle. And I think nobody ever cried just because they don't drive a Ferrari, rather than the car they drive got a slight scratch or dent. So it's not that you have to have a most attractive and most beautiful looking body. The body should be functional, which is why we perform yoga poses, so that we have ankle mobility, we have that physical strength, so that we can serve people as long as we are alive. The body doesn't restrict ourselves even when we are 70 or 80. We do have that heart and mind to help people, but if body doesn't support you, how will you help? And you're only going to regret that in the past I haven't taken care of my body enough. So it will help you, not feel that guilt and not feel that emotion that you want to help and I can't. The second thing is, when you have mastered the physical strength, then it's time for you to level up. It's not that if you are doing very good in yoga poses and you keep going and keep doing the yoga poses, no, that's one aspect of it. Once you master your yoga, asanas, once you master that, you have released that stress and memories from your body, it's time for you to dive into higher practices. How? You need to connect your body with your soul. So if I talk about body soul connection, I think you might have heard people saying very commonly that yoga is like body, mind, and soul connection. How does that connection happen? So if you see the last two chakras, the first two chakras in our body, our root chakra and sacral chakra, they are still part of our physical body. But the one which connects us with our purpose, our self esteem, the willpower, the confidence, the solar plexus chakra, it's not part of your physical body, it's part of your energy body, which is exactly your soul. So, unless you have free energy flowing up to your solar plexus chakra, you won't be able to connect with your soul, which is why some people are like they're constantly stuck in the survival and pleasure cycle. So the root chakra is all about survival, and the sacral chakra is all about drawing pleasures of life, enjoying life. If I translate it to Hindi, the swadhisthana, meaning, quite literal meaning, taking the, uh, tasting the life. That's the literal meaning of swadhisthana. So if you don't tap into your solar plexus chakra, you will never be able to find your purpose. And I was reading this book by Robin Sharma. The book says, when I was going through this dilemma myself, that what is my purpose in life? I am not feeling fulfilled. Why I'm feeling empty? So I read this book, and if I tell you the first couple of 20 pages, it was exactly my story, but just from a man's perspective in a man's body. So that book says that in human potential, it's not possible for you to find your purpose or your destiny. All is possible for a human is that you make yourself, you build yourself, you grow yourself up to that level that your destiny will come find you. So once you build your body, once you make sure that your body is strong enough to handle those higher tasks that you are assigned as your duties, that's when you can tap into your purpose. And the third thing is being aware, making sure that you are present in the moment. When you're doing everything on auto mode, nothing will make you feel like that you're interested in life. It's just that you're just ticking the boxes, you're just following the script. You have to be aware that, you know what, I am feeling empty. That feeling of emptiness, you should sit with it. You should ask yourself the questions. Am I living my fears, or I'm repeating somebody else's? Is this the story that I have written for myself, or I'm just copy pasting somebody else's script? So if we will never ask the questions to ourselves, we will never be able to find out the answer. So the third thing is be aware, be conscious about yourself, be present in each and every moment. That's how you will know whether it is meant for you or not, whether it is giving you that happiness. And happiness is not all about, laughing all the time and not crying. Happiness is that you feel fulfilled in that very moment, no matter what the emotion is, but you know that this thing is meant for you. So these are my three learnings from yoga. Though yoga is a journey where you're always evolving, always learning and growing. But so far, this is what I want to share that I've learned from my yogic journey.
Thank you so much. What a powerful share of, starting with our body as our vehicle that we can either take for granted or we can
Yeah.
start taking care of, all the way to, our awareness. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, I want to just celebrate you from your whole purpose stories and journey, going from corporate to now being centered, and just what an amazing journey that you've taken. And now I can see, just in your presence is just so calm and peaceful. So just want to really celebrate you, Meenakshi, and thank you for sharing your journey with us today. And one thing I will ask you is something, if you could share some words of wisdom to somebody maybe stuck in that corporate job that is feeling a little lost. Maybe they're overwhelmed, or maybe they are kind of lost in the clouds, or whatever obstacles they may feel, but they are not centered in themselves. What would you say to them?
Well, I have been there myself, stuck in a corporate job without even knowing why I'm here. So, the first thing that you will always feel is the fear of not having the security of paycheck. So, anybody who's listening to this, the security of paycheck is not something you should be chasing. Find the security in your whole self. Find that security that that you will be taken care of. You are the part of this universe. Feel yourself that like you are part of this universe. Universe has put you onto this earth and it is going to take care of you. And if you are in corporate, I know everyone is chasing growth. You will always be chasing growth, but don't chase the growth that will take you up to the corporate ladder. Chase the growth that your goal demands from you, and that is yourself. Invest in yourself, grow yourself, not just physically, but mentally. Grow your soul into that kind of consciousness that you become one with the universe. And universe is always giving you sign. It is always giving you direction. It's just we humans are so selfish and we are driven so much by ego. We think that we know everything. We are going to handle everything. But sometimes all it takes is just surrender. If you feel that you're not able to do good in life, just surrender. Ask universe everything. Ask universe that where do I go from here? Show me the path, and definitely and most certainly it will give you answers. Because if you see, apart from humans, birds, animals, the wildlife, the life in jungle, everyone is surviving without a job. Now you will say the animals are not meant to do a job. Yes, they are not meant to do a job, but they are still surviving. How do a goat know how can I survive a lion attack? Universe teaches it, universe protects it. And when the time comes, yes, animals die too. Why are we humans scared that universe is not going to take care of us? Do you know there are animals who have got really amazing supernatural powers, like they can camouflage to protect themselves. I think human is one of the very superior species in the ecosystem. Still, we are scared. We should be confident enough in our capabilities that we are going to survive, even without human-made system, with the power, with the consciousness of universe. So my final message is keep your fears aside and just chase the growth that your goals demand from you. Work upon yourself. That is it.
Beautiful, beautiful. I will ask you also, so I see that a word that I heard quite a bit was growth. So that is amazing. What other kind of words do you feel really connected to that are empowering words?
Well, I would say authenticity.
Mhm.
Authenticity is when you speak your truth and you believe every bit of it. If anything that comes out from your throat and you don't believe or you're doubtful, check. Check whether it aligns with your values or not. That's how you become authentic. And authenticity is one of the highest emotion that you can embody in a physical body because that is associated with your throat chakra. And that's the highest frequency. Second is inner peace. Sometimes we keep blaming the external circumstances that, you know what, today is too much traffic, which is why I'm irritated. So and so person was angry with me, which is why I'm angry. No, the peace is not outside. It can never happen that everyone is going to behave so super nice and then you will have that super nice mood. No, it's never going to happen. Just be with your inner peace. Be very conscious about who is causing you what reaction, because that's an opportunity for you to grow. That's an opportunity, that's a kind of a hindrance that you need to work upon. Because when you are into inner peace, no outer circumstances can create hindrance into your inner peace. All you will see is an opportunity to grow if the outside circumstances are difficult. So these are two of my favorite words: authenticity and inner peace.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what would you say are the driving values that have kept you going and that will keep you going throughout your journey?
Well, I would say the top three values that I live for is: first is service. How can I serve others? Because that's exactly I am here for. If I am not serving other people, my life becomes meaningless. Because if I am just making myself happy, I'm never happy. But if I make somebody else happy, I automatically become happy. So service is my one of the first value. Second is my own spiritual growth, by expanding my consciousness, by being aware about every situation, by being aware about my own self. Because I think the most of the problems that I had in my life is because I never could understand myself. And I am the person who lives within my own body most of the time. How can I expect other people will understand if I don't understand myself fully? So first I need to understand myself, which is why I seek spiritual growth in my own self. And the third is unconditional love, when you demand from the other person just their presence. So unconditional love is not about that trait that you have. If you do this, I will love you. If you don't do this, there's no love. Unconditional love is you just love person for their presence, whether they are able to give you something or not. So unconditional love, both. You should be ready to receive unconditional love and give love, because you can never pour from an empty cup. So if a person loves you, accept it. If a person loves you without any condition, be ready to receive love, because you will need that love to show it to others as well. So anytime you choose to love a person, just love the person unconditionally. Be happy with their presence, because definitely and most certainly life is uncertain. You never know who can leave you, not just physically, but yes, people can go from your life. They can choose different paths. Make sure when you have people around you, make most of it.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much. So, service, spiritual growth, and unconditional love. I love that. Once again, just want to thank you so much, Meenakshi, for sharing your journey and your purpose story with us today. And look forward to seeing your continued journey. And yeah, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. And thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to have this little chat with you. And yes, definitely, I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.